Hello everyone, my name is Hannah. Today we will be discussing the impacts of texting while driving. Unfortunately, it is so popular in today's society. Social media plays such a big role in almost everyone's lives, and everyone seems to feel the need to be checking it at all times. I've added an image above me of someone that's checking their phone while having one hand on the wheel at the same time. I don't know about you all, but I see this all the time. I mean like 1 in every 3 cars that passes me. Whether they're texting, taking a video, on their maps, on a phone call, or even the popular one nowadays, Snapchatting. It's crazy and so upsetting how often I see it. Now to think about it, I even see people that drive with just their knees, or even no hands and just on their phone. That just kind of blows my mind that they can even do that. But many people might think that they're good at multitasking, and that it won't affect their driving. But in reality, if you put that to the test, I guarantee you that's not true. Consequences of texting and driving can vary from just a little swerve on the road to killing the lives of many people. I know a lot of people that might find it funny or typical, maybe even a little silly, for a famous person, such as a Kardashian, to have their own private driver. I added a picture here on the side of me of Kim and Kanye in the back of the car. I feel like I always see them in pictures and on Snapchat and social media of them posed in the back of the car. And a lot of people probably laugh at that and find it as a way of them just showing off their wealth and money. But to me, I actually find it very important that they have their own personal driver. If you think about it, social media is one of their biggest assets in life. Having a driver makes the road a lot safer because now they're not having to pay attention to both social media and the road. In many people's mind, drinking and driving is far worse than texting and driving. But in reality, that's not actually true. And this was something that was new to me because I've never looked at the statistics on that before, but it was actually quite surprising. So my friend Jessica is going to be telling you more about that. I've had many friends that were involved in accidents due to texting and driving. Luckily, none of them were injured in those accidents, but in almost every one of them, the person who caused the accident tried to lie and say that they weren't on their phones. Cops always check phones, just to double check and make sure. Better safe than sorry, and they always want to know what the cause of the accident was, so. Whether it's texting, or Snapchatting, or even just scrolling through Instagram, it's going to distract you. Today my friends and I will be telling you about the effects of texting and driving and all the consequences attached to it. Texting and driving is such a big deal in today's society, and everyone needs to know how much it impacts them and everyone else on the road. We will be telling you about some tips on how to avoid it and some statistics comparing texting and driving with drinking and driving. Another one of my friends is also going to go over the laws of texting and driving because surprisingly it's not actually legal in all 50 states.
Texting and driving is an issue that has been shown to produce highly distracted drivers, and in some cases it has been compared to driving while intoxicated. When it is compared, it's compared to driving after having 4 beers. The yearly amount of injuries caused by drunk drivers is about 10,265, as opposed to distracted driving, which is 300,000 and 391,000 people a year injured. A lot of make models in cars take different distances to stop. So there's a rule of thumb that they can follow by their stop distance to see how much danger they're in. Unimpaired, it takes about 0.54 seconds for a car to fully brake. If you're legally drunk, you add 4 feet to that stopping distance. If you check an email, you have to add 36 feet. And if you reply to a text, you have to add an additional 70 feet. Just to see how much longer it would take you to stop. That's why in 41 states, they have prohibited texting and driving, as well as are coming up with other laws to help remedy this problem.
Hi, this is Summer. and I'm going to be talking to you about laws prohibiting texting and driving that have been changing over the course of several years in the U.S. As these issues have become more apparent, legislatures of individual states have been addressing the negative impact texting has on drivers. In the 90s, cell phones were a very rare thing to have, and texting was very limited. So there were no real laws against texting and driving. However, in 2000, cell phone providers began increasing offers of the text messaging feature in service plans. In 2002, the first accident was identified as being caused by a person who was texting and driving. Between 2003 and 2005, accidents caused by cell phones had been increased by 36%. Bills began being introduced state by state to ban the use of cell phones in a car. In 2008, everyone prefers to text than call. Accidents were an increasing epidemic that were based on texting while driving. Today, more than 50% of drivers out there will receive a notification of a text message while driving. It has also been known that people are doing more than just texting. They're watching videos, browsing the internet, taking pictures, gaming, Facebooking, Snapchatting. No state has actually banned the use of cell phone use at all. However, there are 38 states who have banned first-time drivers from using a cell phone while driving. Today, there are about 39 states, along with DC and Guam, who have banned texting while driving completely. In Arizona, texting or emailing is banned. The use of handheld cell phones used by first-time drivers up to 20 years old have been banned. Now let's pass it along to Elizabeth, who is going to share with us tips, tricks, and avoidance of using a cell phone while driving.
Sorry, I was just texting a friend here. You know, it's Friday night, and I would much rather be going out to a party rather than studying for that test on Monday. You know what? I heard Adam's throwing a party tonight. I have a great idea. How about I blow off that test that I have on Monday and just go to Adam's party? And I have an even better idea. On my way to the party, why don't I sit there behind the wheel and text him the entire time about how I anticipate on having so much fun at his party? But that is the wrong idea. You know why? Because that comes with many consequences. The first and most obvious reason is you are breaking the law. While you might not go to jail, you can still be charged with a misdemeanor offense, or you can just get a fine like most states will do. They'll give you a fine between $25 to $1,000. I mean, really, do you want to pay $1,000 for a ticket when it could have been avoided? And that money could have gone towards your tuition or books, or, you know, save up for that new car that you really wanted. And the second and, you know, most dangerous reason why you shouldn't text behind the wheel is this can happen to you. This is I'm sure it was a very nice convertible, but as you can see, it's in a million pieces. And this is not a texting and driving accident, but this is a drunk driving crash. So that brings me to my next point. What is the difference between texting and driving and drunk driving? I don't mean to steal the thunder from Jessica, but I really don't believe there is a difference. They're both the same. They're both some form of distracted driving. So we can put an end to it by just putting down the phone. Let me show you this video clip of a guy caught on camera texting and driving. Let me just show you what can happen. So they started following him. He turned the corner, and as you can see, he starts to steer off, and bam, hits the tree, rolls over. Luckily, as you'll see, he's still alive. His car is smoking, but he's still alive. But really, my point is, this is all avoidable. What you're watching, this did not have to happen. All he had to do was pull over to the side of the road and put down the phone. Do you really want to explain to the cops or your family that you got into an accident with yourself because you couldn't put down the phone? I mean, it's really sad. You know what? I'm going to pass it on to my friend here, Elizabeth, who is going to tell you some more helpful tips on how to prevent these types of accidents from happening.
Thanks, Christopher. Hi, I'm Elizabeth. In order to avoid the consequences that Christopher just went over with you about texting and driving, we have researched some ideas to help you avoid texting and driving. Strategies to avoid texting and driving are a great thing to practice and be familiar with so you don't hear the familiar notification and automatically pick up your phone. The easiest and perhaps fastest way to avoid answering your phone while driving is to turn it on vibrate or silent. You won't hear it go off, obviously, if it's off, and you won't be tempted to answer it because you won't hear it go off. Another great thing to do is to lock your phone in your center console. It will make your phone harder to hear, and it will make you think twice before reaching over, opening a lid, and getting to your phone. It just makes it a longer process, makes you think it through a little bit more. If you absolutely must send a text while you are in your car, the safest way to do it is to pull over into a parking lot. Park your car, text from a stopped position. If you're pulled over in a parking lot, that is the only safe way to text while you are behind the wheel of your car. You can always leave your phone at home. This is something that I've started doing. I don't take my phone with me. I feel like I'm being constantly interrupted when I'm out and about doing things, and my mind gets scattered because I'm trying to do so many things at once. It kind of helps to disconnect sometimes and focus on the tasks that you need to do outside of your home. And then when you get home, go through the things that have happened while you've been gone one by one and just handle them. It makes me feel more organized, and I think it's a great way to be more efficient, and it's safer because you never have to worry about hearing your phone while you're in your car. There are great apps out there to download onto your phone that can help you with not texting and driving. On My Way, Lifesaver, It Can Wait. These apps can be set up so if your phone gets a text while you're driving, it will automatically send a response text to that person saying that you are busy driving. You will get back to them as soon as you can. Some of them will even say, my destination is in 15 minutes. If you have your map function also enabled, I can text you when I get there. Or they simply will not let any sound notifications come through your phone while you have it on when you're driving, which is, again, if you don't hear it, you won't answer it. A lot of the newer cars have a great feature with their Bluetooth, which is great to avoid texting and driving. My car will read my text out loud to me, and I can respond to it and say, please respond to the text from Jeremy, my husband, with whatever, and it will just automatically fill in the blanks and text him that way. I never pick up my phone. I don't have to look at it. My car automatically tells me, and that's a great feature if you have a newer model car. So I hope these strategies are ones that you will implement and use in order to avoid texting and driving. I'm going to send you to Francesca now, and I hope that you guys have a great day. Thank you. Bye.